Leave it to Michelle to have fabulous lighting.
You know what?
Whatever, Michelle. Whatever.
Her makeup artist needed it.
No, today is lashes and shiny face.
Okay.
And apparently noodles.
Okay. Well, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
That's hilarious.
Wait, well, I thought we weren't live yet.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's not how that works.
Not at all. Not a magic.
But it's always got to be one, right? Anyway, Sean, you were here first. Go ahead and tell them who you are.
Hi, everybody. LaShondra C. I'm one half of Grown Ass Dating. Follow us on our podcast, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all the things. But happy to join you today. Hey.
Awesome. Michelle?
I am Michelle C. Candid Kisses TV. Subscribe right now.
Well, if you can take a break from your eating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will Jordan, Instagram, Renaissance Will. You can follow me there.
Author Ron Walker. Already know. Author, speaker, entrepreneur, a lot of different things. But tonight we want to talk about pet peeves and faux pas. I know last week, Sean, you brought up the whole leaving of the wallet thing.
Yes.
And I thought that was pretty interesting. I've never done it. Apparently some people do. This is a common practice. I don't know. Next week we might need to talk about how dating and how relationships have changed in the last 10 years. But please enlighten me. Because you're the dating expert as far as I'm concerned right now. So please enlighten me on some of these things that guys are doing that just kind of turn you off.
Well, I don't know if I call myself an expert so much as just a tragic participant in life.
Hey, that's what makes you an expert as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, I'll take it. No, I mean, I think there's a couple of different things. I have a laundry list of things that irritate me. And I thought of long and wide, like not just dating, also like relationships. I've been married. There's just a lot of things. I'm going to start with my favorite, the classic passive aggressive communicator. Hard pass. If you can't be clear in your communications, you are, giving people the silent treatment. You can't have real, anything. Just don't be passive aggressive. Don't send me an email when you should be talking to me. Don't send me a text message if I'm in another room. Don't act like you're not going to do something when you really want to do it. Like, just be who you are and be honest and upfront and communicate clearly.
I think that's a really, really good one. Like, I think there's so many guys right now. And to me, coming up, that was always considered you were a weak dude. Like, if you can't speak up, if you can't say something directly, you got to beat around the bush and do all this extra stuff. You're just a weak dude. And I don't know a lot of women that want a weak dude.
Well, and I think women are typically accused of doing it more than men. But either way, like, it's just a bad practice. I don't want to deal with it at work. I don't want to deal with it at home. Like,
absolutely. Just
be clear. And if you can't have critical conversations with people or talk about your truths or, I don't like you leaving the dishes on the dishwasher. Or, if you can't have those kind of conversations, then how are you going to have a relationship anymore?
So true. Will, what do you think? You're Mr. Married Man. We have experience. We have some experience with marriage. Good marriage, bad marriage. What are some of those things in marriage that kind of get to you?
I'll say one that's more particular to my situation, I think, is and when you first get married, one of the things it just irritates the crap out of me. When a person is comparing their relationship life to their single life, and you keep trying to explain it, those are not the same things. Like, they're I mean, it's literally not, from how much stuff costs, from even how much time something takes. If you ever been around a family of like 4 or 5, just leaving out the door is like 40 freaking minutes process. So I think like that right there is like so freaking irritating. I did this with my ex. So I did this, just comparing your single life to your relationship. It's just so freaking irritating. I don't want to hear about how you dated LeBron James and he took you to Turks and Caicos. I don't give a damn. Okay? All right. I don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? So can we add to that, and not just your single life, but also just your exes in general? Like, do not talk about your past relationships in your current relationship. Married, single, dating, otherwise. Like, nobody wants to hear it. And I agree. If LeBron took you to Turks and Caicos, then talk to him about going again. You don't need to talk to me about it. We don't need to discuss it.
I don't want to know. And I think that point of comparison is always, it leaves room for expectations to not be met and disappointment. And it's never a good look.
Oh my God.
So I agree.
Oh my gosh.
It's the truth, man. I always talk about that 80-20. You're never going to get everything from one person. But I don't want to hear about the stuff that you were getting from them that I'm just not delivering on. I'm not them. If you wanted to be with them so bad. Anyway, Michelle.
I hate men that say faux pas and
that's the name of the damn podcast today.
That's funny.
You hate fancy? You hate fancy people? Okay.
Just tell me what it is. Like, nigga, what makes you mad? Like, no. No.
Phil does not want people with vocabulary skills.
No.
That's why I
understand them.
Part.
I understand them, but just give it to me plain.
If you got a degree, you're pissing her off already.
Yeah, don't even show up. Don't even show up to the date. No, thank you.
No, really. You know what? One of my biggest pet peeves is something that I did deal with in the past. Is people coming over to your house in your refrigerator, but then you put shit in it. Ooh. Don't come in my refrigerator. You take shit out of my refrigerator. If you ain't going to replace it, you ain't going to pay on the grocery bill. Don't ask me what's in my refrigerator.
So you're not. Don't come hungry. Don't come hungry.
Don't come hungry, huh?
Not at all. Now, if I say I'm gonna make dinner, that's one thing. But don't come over here raid my refrigerator. I mean, if you don't have nothing at home, that's not my problem. That's yours.
I bring the noodles over there, and I just eat your steak. Yeah, there we go.
No,
you leave something behind. It's like you're leaving something to get something. I get it, Will.
I really
think Michelle, you be the nigga that bring the Kool-Aid, but don't bring the sugar. See, I don't have that. No, we're not doing that.
But I think there's a bigger thing there. Like that's one of my it's on my list. Obviously not the not eating part. I don't really care who's in my refrigerator. If you can find something, good for you. You can make lemonade out of lemons. Good for you. But ultimately it's being inconsiderate, right? Like it's that whole coming over and not thinking about what goes into something, not asking, not thinking about the other person before you make decisions. Like that's a big inconsideration. Like I don't like that at all. Like if you can't go to the grocery store and think of what you're going to get us and what you're going to come back with something for you and then I'm hungry.
So
that's problem.
So I'll say this right here. So apparently this is a really big thing in dating. Now, this is not a flex. I've just never experienced this, right? But when people, when I even mentioned this to folks that we were doing this, pet peeves talk, they said that their pet peeve was being ghosted. Now, I've never been ghosted, but I can only imagine how freaking irritating that would be if you went on an actual date, y'all actually picked it, and then you just freaking disappear. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot.
As the resident dater here, yes,
I've only done that once to somebody, and
I fall in two spaces.
Yeah.
Oh God, you's a nigga.
Wait a minute. I have a reason though.
So we did a podcast on this. Grown Ass Dating did a podcast about ghosting, and I fall in two spaces about it. Like, part of me is like, it's passive aggressive, and there's no need for it. We're all adults, so if you don't want to see anymore, thanks, I had a good time. Blah blah blah. We don't have to keep going, but don't set up the expectation for extended communication if you're not going to do it, because then you're putting yourself in a place where you can ghost somebody. Now, have I ghosted people? I would say no. People might not agree with that. Have I been ghosted? 100%. And I hate it. So the second part of where I fall is I don't feel like you owe me or I owe you anything. We're going on one date. Now, if we've been going out for a couple times, like if it's been 3 or 4 or 5 dates or something like that, and then you just disappear, that's some bitch shit. So don't do it.
That's very good.
I've never done that.
One and done, like if it's the first date, I don't really feel like that's a requirement. Like I don't need to know, you don't need to know for me, but it is courtesy. Like just treat. Well, I mean, like there's one date. If we don't call me back, you don't call me back. But I'm not expecting you to.
You kind of.
But if you're like on the first date, like I'll call you, we're gonna have a second date. Like if we're having that kind of conversation, and then you just don't show, don't be inconsiderate. Just don't overpromise and underdeliver.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's expectations in it, and again, it goes back to passive aggressive communication. Like if you just can't say I'm not interested, like an adult to adult. Like I'm not 22.
Yeah.
Okay. My feelings aren't going to be hurt. I'm in my 30s. I get it. If you don't want to date me, trust me, I probably don't want to date you. It works out for everybody. Just say it. It was nice. I had a nice time, or I didn't have a nice time. I'm not going to pursue this. Like, it's not any skin off my back.
So the only time I've ever ghosted somebody is, so when I break up, I really break up in real life. I'm not like I'm a Libra.
Ghosting if it's a breakup? It's not ghosting if it's a breakup. If I'm breaking up with you, we're ending a relationship.
So
you work together.
I have to preface it because some people don't believe that. Some people believe that breakup means like fizzle out or
No.
we get back together a couple of times and don't
No.
I got you. Yeah.
I don't do that. Like
Nah.
Yeah.
I remember
When I'm done, I'm done.
I remember one time in particular in college. I must have been definitely early 20s, but this chick, she was dope. We were dating a few months actually. Anyway, she exhibited some thotty behavior. And
Body behavior.
And I
need to know how are we defining that?
Yeah, did she wear a short shirt? Like, what does that mean?
What is body behavior?
She had only shirts that fit thought on them. And then
Exactly. She had on a thought t-shirt.
She had went somewhere that you only go that thoughts go.
The library. What?
But she was on the thought corner. And then that's how he knew.
Basically,
Yo,
so
where is
we
this?
just leave it like that, right? It was
Is it a cafe?
like you wouldn't even go if you're in a relationship and you're like, you know, you're trying to be faithful, right? So she went somewhere like that, right?
So like the strip club, Fairmont Lounge, what are we talking about?
To clarify, because I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is this an expedition to a whole nother country to partake in?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
To partake in festivities in a whole different country.
Exactly.
Like Carnival?
In a relationship or dating.
Was it Freaknik 96? I don't understand. Like,
On crack. Just think Freaknik times 10.
Exactly.
Okay.
Stay tuned for part 2.